that's why I didn't bother bringing my computer.
Oh, yeah.
A really short agenda.
Part as opposed to the entire
IT.
packet. So it's more like links as opposed to a whole one, the whole thing.
Call this meeting to order. Council work session, January 3rd. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Okay, visitor comments.
Forgot to say, announce your name, Steve Topaz. As you people remember, we had a lot of people here for the Halloween month, and it was nice to hear human sound in the city. So I have a proposal, and this proposal is aimed at trying to make a community out of this. As you know, we don't really have that much community spirit. So I have a no-cost proposal that I hope the city council will push forward. And it's called Say Hello Thursday. And the job is for people when they're standing in line at the deli, at the supermarket or wherever, to say hello to one person in front of them and one person behind them. And that's the only thing we're asking. Because if you ever stand in line, you see a bunch of people not talking to each other, basically ignoring everybody. So at least to have the people of St. Helens realize there's somebody else, say hello on Thursday. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve. It's a nice gesture. I don't know how we go about doing that, but very, very thoughtful. Hello, Steve.
Well, and just ask people to say hello on Thursday.
Yep.
We have the Facebook page.
We'll get with Crystal Farnsworth and we'll see about campaigning something like that, okay? All right.
I do that every day.
I do too. Okay. Any other visitor comments? Okay. Award EPA CWA Project Management Service to Mal Foster Alonji. Alonji?
Move we award the EPA contract management services to Mal Foster Alongi.
Second.
Okay, motion been made and seconded to award the EPA Project Management Service to Mal Foster. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, approve and authorize for signature. A2, amendment to legal service agreement with Jordan Ramus PC. And B, contract payments.
Move we approve and authorize for signature 5A and B.
Second.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded to approve 5A and B. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none. Consent agenda for approval. A, OLCC license. B, declare surplus properties, various items. C, accounts payable bill list.
Move we approve consent agenda 6A through C.
Second.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded to approve consent agenda A through C. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, I don't have too much to report other than I'm looking forward to 2018, looking forward to working with the council. I know we have a lot on our plate, and it seems like it's going to be the year of inaction for a lot of this to start coming to fruition. So, we don't always agree, but we always seem to come to the right conclusion. So, I'm looking forward to 2018, and that's all I have to report. So let's start with Councilor President Morton.
I don't have much other than I read in a Chronicle today that there was an issue with our parks and Boy Scouts. And so at this time, I'll yield to any council members who can enlighten me a bit about that issue of where our parks superintendent and the Boy Scouts went separate ways. Does anyone have any ideas in the Chronicle?
I think they meet different needs.
Historically, the Boy Scouts have gone around and collected the trees and done some things with Christmas trees for donations. And the city put out the bin just to be generous to let people do it. And any money donated would go to the food bank just to be friendly. But the Boy Scouts did a door-to-door service, neighborhood by neighborhood, that I never
Different.
heard about this year. And I did my tree that way 3 or 4 years in a row when I lived up on 4th Street. And so I don't know how it became an either or and not a both thing.
Right.
Well, apparently it's using taxpayers' money to, the argument was that we're using taxpayers' money to eliminate Christmas trees and then calling it free. We're using taxpayers to pay our parks personnel to do that. And that was the argument. And it was a piece in the Chronicle today, and I was taken kind of back by that. I just kind of looked at it and I go, whoa, I haven't heard a thing.
I see it as a generous gesture on the part of the city for its citizens.
Yeah, and I think it was just a
I
matter
think that
of
was the intent.
our park superintendent not maybe checking. It's pretty hard to check all the volunteer people out there
Yeah.
and doing what they're doing, and then try to initiate a volunteer kind of thing amongst the parks group. A volunteer, well, not really a volunteer, but an effort to help our citizens out. So that was something that was new, and I was just taken back when I read about it. We
Yeah.
haven't seen the guy in council or anything like that, and usually when those kinds of things happen, we ask those people to come to council and explain their problems, but instead they went to the newspaper and pointed to our park superintendent and a big long article about that person. Nobody knows anything about it really.
I don't think there was any intent on the part of the city or the part of parks to damage the Boy Scouts.
I wouldn't imagine.
No.
Okay. That's about. I mean, that was a kind of like what.
Yeah.
John, do you know anything about that? What do you?
Well, there was the council authorized
Mhm.
to have the tree drop as a fundraiser for the food bank,
Mm-hmm.
and we set that up. Historically, I understand we grind the trees anyway. There's a drop place for the trees, and the city does it anyway. So the argument of use of public resources is really not
Yeah.
doesn't go very far.
Well, it's certainly in.
I understand the Booster Club also does the same thing. There's
Yeah.
multiple people out there doing it. So
I'd certainly
well-intended.
invite that person to come forward and give us his argument, and I think that would help a lot. Help everyone understand. Just a reminder, I hope everyone got their department evaluations in, like our department head evaluations and city administrator evaluations, just like our charter asks us to do. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you, Doug. Okay, Councilor Khan.
Arts and Cultural Commission is doing an outreach. They're going to have arts, coffee, and conversation opportunities, and they've put out a survey. I think I saw it on the Chronicle online. Isn't that where it was? And I expect it'll be available in other ways too. But it's just an opportunity for more casual conversation and interaction with the public. CIT trainings are this coming week, January 8th through 12th. This is our 5th one, right? Isn't it? So that's about all that's happening in my world right now. I too am hoping for a productive 2018.
Okay, Councilor Carlson.
I had just a couple things. Youth Council finished out, had a good year. They're looking forward to having their first meeting this coming Monday, talking about their plans for the coming year and what direction they're going to go. And I'm excited about that, excited about some new energy that they have in that group. The other thing that I've talked about multiple times and we've not ever gotten there is having a way for council to recognize employees for contributions above and beyond the call of duty. And appreciating people that do stuff outside of their job description. I've mentioned this couple different things and said I'm going to get them a card, and we just never get there. This holiday, Shauna Dugan, that works in utility billing, took it on herself to work with Michelle's Love, the cancer Single Mothers with Cancer organization, and adopted a family in Wilsonville. And the response was overwhelming on social media. People were fighting to give this woman her gifts. And there was pictures of the little girl and the boy, and that would have had nothing because the mom is going through a pretty brutal battle. And I got a card from Kathy, and I'm going to write a message to Shauna for that. But I think that we just need to have a process where our department heads can bring to us, this person's gone out of their way, and we can do that. Because I think we're going to get more cooperation and a better camaraderie between council and our staff if we're recognizing when they are doing great things, as opposed to just when they reach their 10-year anniversary. Like, we have a lot of people doing really good stuff in our community. And, you know, whether it's our staff or volunteers, we need to just start appreciating those people some way and calling to the forefront good things. And just to piggyback on what our public comment was, it's just the youth council has talked about over and over again the amount of kids that get left behind through drugs and alcohol and dropout, and creating community where people are appreciating each other when people have tough times, that they recognize it and somebody's got a handout to help someone. And, you know, we can do this, and we just need to set the example and to be more appreciative of our staff and our community and people that do a lot of great work. And so I have a card. I'm going to write a message. And if people want to write on it before they leave, that'd be great. That's all I have.
Thanks. And we do recognize them at 5 too.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like when they come in and get their certificate, it's not as personal as a little card.
No,
And I know when I've
I
gotten
think it's a
those,
great idea.
It's something, at least it's a start. We do
Uh,
a lot of talking and not a lot of doing.
How about we put it on the agenda for the work session that we discuss that a little bit also about maybe even going out into finding citizens and
Exactly.
maybe some businesses as
Exactly. We've got a lot of volunteers in our community
So-
that are really burning the midnight oil and putting in a lot of hours and doing really great work, and they don't get near enough. And I just think if we start lifting those people up, they're going to go, you know, somebody does see what I do.
Yep. So, you get that, Kathy? Okay. All right, Councilor Locke.
About the only thing I have is working with the different people over at the our industrial site, our new industrial site and whatnot. John and I have talked about this a few times about forming some sort of a internal board or commission that works with that stuff versus the council, so that it kind of separates it. I don't know. I mean, John knows more about it than I do. So, but
Don't know what
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
going to say.
Mike.
I mean, I just want to bring it up so that we talk about it. Maybe put it on the agenda for our next work session,
Sure. Yeah, that's
so that we can
So what would
talk
that-
about what it is and what it entails and all that.
So just bounce around some ideas of what we think it might look like. Type
Well,
thing?
it would be like a separate commission.
I don't want to give 204 acres of industrial property that we're responsible for to a commission.
Well, it would probably be the
Pretty
council,
important.
though.
It's pretty well. It's
It
that
could
way
be
right now.
it could be just like the Urban Renewal Agency.
Pretty
It,
important
it could
stuff.
even be under the Urban Renewal Agency as part of it.
So I would say that, now that I'm starting to tune in with you, is that apologies for that, but that is in this exercise of going through council goals. My report I was talking about council goals and accomplishments throughout the year. But one of the things I want to work on is a real detailed work plan for the mill site that we can have in hand to work from. That's embraced by the council and can
Right.
work on it. How we choose to govern that after that, so certainly.
It actually is laid out
Right.
and has different plots and roads and
Well, more than
sewer.
that. More than that, there's the governance and operations and the planning exercises that need to happen and utility design.
Yes.
Yeah.
Um,
I like the
Yeah, yeah.
the vision for it, so that we're all on the same page and all that and everything. Yeah.
We're still being reactive right now to the things as needed right now, but we need to push it forward and kind of plan our work with that. So
Yep.
So if we can just put that on the agenda next time,
Sure.
we can talk about that.
We're just going to bounce around some ideas, and we'll get a little more in-depth vision from and discuss where we're going with this. Because John's also in agreement that he wants to push this too. So, and we all have been talking about this property, the sign, the whole.
Planning for industrial.
Yep, St. Helens Industrial Park. We talked about signage, so it's good that we keep talking about it. Anything else?
Nope.
Okay. Let's start over here with Terry.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
We did our physical agility testing on our 3 candidates last Friday and Saturday. Now there are 2 candidates. They're going to both be doing their psychological and medical testing perhaps late this week, but it'll probably be more like next week. So by the next council meeting, I should be able to tell you all about maybe even have swearing in. Might be pushing it, but we're that close. So I'm happy that we're moving along. Both the Chronicle and Spotlight have asked questions this week about DUI enforcement. I thought I'd just share some numbers because there's been a lot of interest lately. I think, I don't know if, we did our Officer Clause campaign, and our hope was that we would have 0 DUIs over the holiday season. That didn't happen. This year, during our high visibility enforcement campaign, which is December 15th through January 1st, we had 6 DUIs. Last year, during that exact same time frame, we only had 2. For the whole year of 2017, we had 102 DUIs, and in all of 2016, a year ago, we had just 80. So we've seen a pretty significant increase for the whole year, and then certainly for the holiday period of Christmas, New Year's. We had a lot of fun with our Officer Clause campaign, and we got international attention with it, but it's still a problem for us. It continues to be an issue, and like I said, we should have a holiday season where we have 0. We'll try again next year. But anyway, that's all I have.
Okay. Thank you, Terry. Sue?
Yeah, it's kind of following up on the going above and beyond a little bit. Just wanted to call out a thanks to all the public works guys who came out on Christmas Eve and were out sanding and trying to make the streets as safe as they could. I'm sure that they weren't happy about getting pulled away from their families on that day, but they know where that priority is. It's to keep our community safe, and I just want to acknowledge their dedication to their work. So I always appreciate those guys.
Thank you for the gravel on the hill specifically.
Yeah, yeah. So they know which spots to hit. So they do a great job, and that's all I had.
All right.
And Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Margaret?
On our first day back from the holiday, the library rolled out the new fines and fee structure that Gretchen had proposed earlier this fall as a part of the strategic planning subgroup that worked on that whole project. And we've had a pretty intensive effort making policy and procedure changes within the software that governs all those transactions. And that will continue as we continue to alter the value of all the items from just a standard amount to the actual list price. So that'll be an ongoing effort. But the actual rollout this week, we're in our second day, and it's going pretty smoothly. We've had to create a lot of new marketing materials and new applications and that sort of thing. So we're excited to have that start, and it's encouraging so far to see how smoothly the staff has pulled that together. The only other thing I wanted to mention that's happening this week is on Friday, St. Helens is hosting all the library directors that are in the county. And we don't very often get together, but I think I mentioned when we were talking about budget meetings that I needed to have a evening free when we're having a local author come, because that's one of the things that we're doing together is we're co-hosting a community reads event, and this author is going to be central to that. So we're getting together Friday, and we also just kind of find out what's happening in each other's communities and trade tips and ideas. And so it's good to see that happen. It's been, like I said, a couple of years since we've gotten together. So that's all I have.
Thanks, Margaret. Matt? Nothing? Kathy?
The only thing I want to say is we are having our employee recognition banquet on the February 9th. So I've heard from Susan, but if I haven't heard from you, please get that to me or tell me.
Me and the wife.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. The other thing is you can hear the volume on this.
Yes.
I'm not sure why, so I have to
It's
figure that
delayed
out.
too a little bit.
It is delayed. It's delayed by 4 minutes because
Yeah.
I
just heard Keith talking.
didn't notice. I forgot to push the play button on it. There's so many different things going on. I had another thing. I can't remember. I'm sorry. That's it.
Thank you. John?
Okay, as I earlier alluded there, they're working on kind of some year-end issues and year-beginning issues as far as, reviewing council goals, starting, look in the review and look forward at the same time as far as progress and things. I'll have a staff version of that fairly soon, and I can go in and start talking about it at the council through the workshops. How Christmas is wrapped up. Most of the decorations are starting to come down. It was really successful, I believe, from my perspective, at least if you were measuring it by compliments. There was a lot of people complimenting and how nice it looked and what a great job the city has been doing with that. And, just purely unsolicited. People would track you down out in the plaza just to tell you how nice it looks. It was really kind of fun. But so there was a merchants meeting letter that went out that city staff sent out to the merchants within the St. Helens community, and the purpose of that letter was to gauge interest in a possible listening session with the merchants, the city and the merchants, sitting together in a more comfortable environment than this dais to talk about their concerns and how we might be able to do things collaboratively to hear their concerns, work through, not just through the Halloween event, but through the entire year. So we don't have a date for that yet, but we're getting some interest back in that meeting. The other thing that was going to happen in February was this Halloween town planning meeting, which is not that meeting. It's a separate meeting. We're looking at the 15th of February. I think that's an open date, and could move around a little bit, but mid-February to start talking about Halloween. Other than that, Happy New Year.
Okay. Happy New Year, everyone, and be safe, and we're adjourned. That was almost a record.